That's what makes the blood pump back up into the leg when they step on it right there. It's hard to wake up and be happy when you're hurt every day. I was getting to the point where I was having a lot of back pain. One morning when I went to come out of the shower, my leg wouldn't work and I fell out of the shower onto the floor.
And he flopped around the floor for 6 hours before he finally let me take him in. We went to the local orthopedic place that does back surgery, and it was a very negative experience. At that point, that's when I'm like, okay, we're out of here.
I knew at that point that something pretty significant was going on. My back was in really bad shape. Growing up, part of being a man is you took care of everybody and you just shut up, and it didn't matter if it hurt. You went to work and you did it anyway. And it was getting to the point where I didn't know if I could do it anymore. It was a really emasculating, horrible feeling. You're scared, am I gonna get better? Am I ever gonna be able to work to support my family or recreation, you know? My passion's horses, I train my own horses. At that point, didn't know what to do. I was kind of, you know, am I gonna be done?
It was the most overwhelming feeling. It's very hopeless. You can't fix it. And so you can only, you know, offer that support. And then that's when it's like, okay, what I can do is find him the best surgeon there is.
Let's go somewhere where they have the best. So that's when we started the process of trying to find Dr. Baig in his office. And the first consult was actually, he was off work at home with his family when he called us from his home.
Being a doctor, you're allowed to change people's lives more fundamentally than any other profession out there. Craig's pathology was straightforward in my mind because this is all I do all the time, but it was very complex and convoluted to them from the experiences that they had gone through. It started off with a phone conversation with Craig, you know, going down the pathology bit by bit and how his vertebrae had shifted, how his nerves were severely compressed. There was no doubt in my mind that Craig's pathology was the source of his pain. If you're doing this on a day-to-day basis, this is, you know, what you do. The challenge for a surgeon is not the surgery itself. The challenge is to alleviate the patient's fear and say, hey, we got this. You can see their fears come down one notch after another notch after another notch before they go ahead and say, hey, you know, walk that journey with us.
It was an answer to our prayers. It really was an answer to our prayers, the fact that we found him. Because we had been praying to go, where do we go? You know, he spent that time with us. He went through the x-rays, the CAT scans, the MRIs. You know, this is what we need to do to fix it. And so it was one of those things that was like, okay, let's do it.
That's when I really started trusting him, and I knew this was the guy that I wanted working on me. I got out of surgery, an hour after I woke up. I was up and walking. Started physical therapy the following morning. I was getting around pretty good. 4 days out, I believe, walked on an airplane. My wife tried to get me to ride a wheelchair on. I said that is not happening. And 5 weeks out, I actually went, helped some friends, brand cattle. I was on a horse roping. Oh, it felt great. I mean, I was still hurting a little, but it felt great. So we did a small pleasure ride, probably a half mile. I could have went farther, but my wife wouldn't let me.
As a surgeon, the finished product is always getting a patient back to where he used to be, enjoying his life, transforming his life, and being part of that journey.
To me, his honesty and integrity made me believe in him. I could believe in his knowledge. He's like the Michael Jordan of back surgery. There's always going to be a connection. You know, there's that appreciation.
I love waking up in the morning and being able to be at this scrub sink, washing my hands. We all impact each other's lives one way or the other. But I think in a fundamental sense, you're there to rise to the challenge of answering to people's prayers. Seeing Craig get back on his horse just reinforces and validates why I get up every morning to do what I do.